Hello. Thank you for, I commend you guys for trying out mediation today. I know it might be a new process for both of you. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Jiyoung Kwarg. Can I get both of your names?
Joey.
Hello, Joey. It's a pleasure to meet you. Is it okay if I call you by your first name?
Yes, Joey is great. And sorry, when I get nervous, I laugh sometimes.
Oh, no problem. I
but
completely understand.
no disrespect.
That's a natural reaction. And in here?
Randy Graves.
Randy?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Randy. Is it okay if I call you by your first name as well?
Sure.
Okay, great. So I just want to explain to you a little bit about what mediation is. So mediation is a process by which, a party-controlled process by which both parties will take control of the process and just kind of like come together and discuss what brought them here into court today. We find that generally this process tends to be fairly satisfactory for both parties because they have a good sense of control. And my role as a mediator is basically just to be a neutral facilitator of the conversation. So I'm not here to make any judgments. I'm not any sort of judge or anything like that. In terms of confidentiality, it's very important that you understand in mediation that mediation is a confidential process. And by that we mean that anything that you say within this room cannot be used to your detriment in court. Furthermore, we will be conducting private sessions, and in those private sessions, if you would like to keep any sort of information confidential, then I will ask you personally, and you can tell me, and I will not withhold that information from the other party. Actually, and we also have a confidentiality form here. And if you'd like, if you feel comfortable signing it, if you could.
What is this?
Oh, so this is a confidentiality form. So this basically states some of the kind of the provisions that I was speaking to you about in terms of confidentiality. Like I said, it's basically what I described to you just now. If you would like, please take your time to just read it over.
Okay, I'm fine with something.
Okay. Would you mind signing it here? And then, sure. Okay. And also we have one more form here. So this form is a conflict of interest form. And basically what this form says is that we're mediators from UC Hastings College of Law, right down the street. And this form says that just because, first of all, it again states that any sort of information that you're revealing in this mediation will not be disclosed to any member of the UC Hastings community. And therefore, you're not precluded from using any of the other free services that Hastings provides, for example, the Civil Justice Clinic, for example. So if you feel comfortable, please look over this as well. And then, great. Now that we seem to have all the paperwork set, I'd like to lay down kind of some ground rules, generally for a mediation. I find that the process moves along much better when parties are civil towards each other and maintain a certain level of respect in the way they communicate, and also just in their body language and the tone of their voice. So if we can, let's please try to maintain that sort of atmosphere. And in terms of the process, the way it will work is, first I will allow both of you to give an account of what brought you here in court, and then afterwards I will try to facilitate any further discussions. And it may become necessary that we may enter into private sessions where I may ask one or the other party to just speak with me one-on-one. And this is not in any sort of way to kind of alienate the other party in any sort of way. It's more so that I could try to provide more of a comfortable space for the party who's alone in the room to kind of tell their story. And so are there any questions in terms of how this mediation is going to go? Or, no? Okay, great. then and you guys are both still feel comfortable with this process, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Great. And so can I ask who, I tend to like to begin with the party who brought the complaint, and so can I ask
That's me. I'm complaining.
Okay, great. If that's okay with you, Randy, I just
I'd like to find out what's going on.
great. And just a little side note, if you could please not interrupt while she's telling her story, it'd be great. And obviously, you'll be given just as much of an opportunity to tell your side of the story. Okay, great. Please.
Okay, so my name is Joey, and Randy was my landlord, and I moved into an apartment at 1234 Samuels in the Mission. And it was like pretty nice, pretty clean when I moved in, and Randy seemed like a good landlord, and I said, you know, like this place is decent, but I really want to paint, and I want like a new paint job, and I want like the floors to look nice because they look like shit. So then Randy was like, fine, you can paint. I'll supply you with the paint, but like you have to do it. So I was like, fine, I'll do it. So then I spent 5 days painting, just me, you know, all 5'2" of me. It's like tiring, you know, it's a lot of man-woman power, woman labor. And then I did the flooring, and I actually bought all this stuff for the flooring with my own money, so that wasn't something that Randy provided to me. And they like put in all the new flooring, cleaned it up, and it was super scratched up before I moved in, and really in bad shape. And I sanded it all down and waxed it all, and like just made it so nice, like good as new, so nice. So then I lived in the apartment for a while, and everything was normal, like with my security deposit. So like Randy made repairs when things would be messed up, and like paid the interest on my security deposit and all that kind of stuff. And then, so basically everything was fine, and then I was ready to move out, and I only gave 15 days notice, and I know I was supposed to give 30, but I decided to move in with my boyfriend, and we found the place really quick, and I just felt like, you know, I had done a lot of things to help out the apartment, and Randy seemed like pretty easygoing, and it's also like a super nice apartment for a pretty good price in the Mission, so it felt like I could fill that space in 2 weeks, no problem, so I figured she could probably fill it pretty quick. So I gave my 2 weeks notice, but in the couple weeks before I was moving out, I was babysitting my friend's dog, golden retriever, super cute, named Blue, and Blue is super cute, and he was like traipsing around a bunch, and it's okay to have pets in my lease, so it wasn't like, you know, being a sneaky pet person, but he did like, you know, scratch the floors a little like a dog would, but even so, when I moved out, the floors were still in way better condition than when I moved in, when they were super shabby.
Nice.
Yeah, and one thing that I so regret is I didn't take any photos before or after or anything. I should have photographed when I moved in because it was such a mess. And so yeah, so then I moved out, and I cleaned the place up just really quick because everything was super rushed. And I know I left like a couple of bagged up things of garbage, which was, you know, if I'd had more time, I would have gotten rid of them. And I totally understand that you have to like pay to get that stuff taken away. But I just felt like the amount that Randy allocated for somebody to come and pick up garbage and take it away was so high. It was like, I don't know, I have it in my notes somewhere. It was $125 to carry away 5 bags of garbage, like literally, and $250 to clean up the apartment, which was like pretty clean. And I wish if we had talked about that in advance, I would have been like, I'll find like a nice cleaning lady, and it'll cost like what, $35, maybe up to $50, but it wasn't like a big apartment, and I'm not like a mess ball. So basically, then I moved out, and my security deposit I wanted back was $2,500, and then Randy only gave me back $1,000, I think, right? I have all my notes in my breakdown, but yeah. So she only gave me back $1,000, And I have this
I'm
letter.
sorry, I just missed a little bit. So it was $2,500 and she gave $5,000.
Yeah, so I have this letter that Randy sent to me that just said, like, your security deposit's $2,500. So I'm gonna deduct this random 1,500 that are like totally inflated numbers and give you only 1,000
It's
back.
not random,
And I just felt like,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
it's random, it's totally random, and I
I'm
just
sorry,
felt
Randy,
like
you'll be able
I
to
just-
explain the deductions
But
really
she's
quickly.
making an
Okay,
inflammatory
so-
comment. It's
Oh,
not
I'm
random.
sorry.
inflammatory comment. It's random, random Randy. That's what they call you. So
Let's
anyway.
refrain from name calling always. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Joey. Just
So, okay, so anyway, that's pretty much it. I just feel like it's legit that some money probably had to be paid to do like the standard cleaning and carrying away the garbage, but it was just way too much. And I mean, I'm a student, I'm not like rolling in money. I moved in with my boyfriend so we could live somewhere cheaper so I could pay less money. And $1,500 is a lot of money, and I want that. So that's it. Your turn.
So, okay, I agree with a lot of the things that she said.
okay.
I have to say I strongly disagree with the way you characterize some of the things that happened. First of all, when she moved in, it was not my impression that the floor was scratched up or a mess.
Then you didn't see it. It was super
Please,
messy.
please allow Randy an opportunity just to tell her side of the story.
I'll use this small yellow pad you gave me.
And, you know, I didn't realize that it was such work for you to paint and refinish the floors, but I saw it more as, you know, I'm doing a favor because, you know, I let my tenants make modifications if they want, as long as they're reasonable, and, you know, I consider myself to be an accommodating landlord in that way. So when we talked over that, it didn't seem like it would be such, you know, a tough thing for her to do, you know. And I mean, I have to say, you know, when she painted it and finished the floors, it looked pretty good. You know, I was actually pretty happy to have you as my tenant. I mean, the only problem came up when she moved out. Up to then, I thought we were
Yeah, we were done.
okay. I mean, my memory's a little fuzzy about it because it was such a time ago. Yeah, we got it. I didn't know that you had a dog in there, but when she left the place a mess. The floor it wasn't just scratched up, it was just a mess. And you know, she makes it sound like there were only a couple bags of garbage in there. There were tons of that stuff. It was really a lot of stuff, which is why, I mean, you were saying 250, a random number. It's not a random number. I had to hire somebody who charged more than usual because there was just so much stuff left over in the apartment. It was really dirty, so, and the 15 days notice, you were supposed to give 30 days notice.
I know.
You know, you're lucky I didn't charge the full month's rent in this itemized list. And it's not random. I put down exactly what I spent on, for what purposes. You know, as required by law. You know, I'm just doing my job as a landlord. And I have to tell you, when you gave me only 15 days, I had to go through a lot of rushed, you know, it was such a hassle for me to handle at that point. But I don't think this is random or ridiculous or unreasonable in any way.
Great, thank you so much for that. So it seems like you both had a great relationship, at least leading up to the move out. It might have been that some of the circumstances of the move out led to, you know, some either just mental slip-ups or just some carelessness, but it seems like at least we have that foundation. I did have...
Are you saying that I was careless in...
Oh, no, absolutely not. That's not what I was
So
saying.
you're saying I was careless?
No, that's... I very much apologize. I must have miscategorized. But what I mean is that in the rush of moving out, it's possible
it was
that,
yeah.
that, you know, both sides did not take as much care as they might have if they had, you know, a lot of time.
I offered her. I notified her that, you know, the law allows the tenant to request an inspection. I was fully complying with that part of the law.
Yeah, but you sent me this like confusing letter with all this stuff and this section number and I have the right to rest. Do you know what you're talking about? I'm like, what time I have to go?
No, I explained to you that the reason that we have that provision for her to request an inspection is to avoid, this whole thing, to see that we're both on the same page about, the condition of the apartment, and to see that everything is in place. But you refused it, so, how am I supposed to check beyond that?
It seems as if the refusal of the initial inspection, I assume it wasn't in bad faith.
No, it was just like,
it was
I was
rushed and
super
you wanted
rushing
to
and I
get
got
through
this
it.
like confusing jargony letter and like I just didn't know what it meant and I meant to give it up and I was just running out the door pretty much and
I see. Okay.
that's,
So I'm sorry, Remy, did you get a chance, by any chance, to, so you didn't get any chance to make any sort of initial inspection before you moved out?
Well, no, with her. I mean, I'm required to do it on my own.
I see.
She wasn't doing it.
Oh, I see. So you did undergo an initial
We did
inspection.
the inspection, which is how I found out that she left the place next.
Oh, okay. So this was before Joey had moved out, correct?
And this is Joey moves out, I did the inspection, and then I said this.
Oh, I see. I'm
and
sorry.
then I returned
Yeah.
the security deposit.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I must have misunderstood you because, from my understanding, an initial inspection is done before the move out. But that's fine. So the inspection was done after the move out.
Yeah, we were supposed to do a walkthrough.
Okay, great. And from that walkthrough, so it seems in terms of the paint job, has remained intact, right? And you seem satisfied with
I
that?
think so. You have to give me a moment because
Absolutely.
it was a long time ago.
Absolutely.
that wasn't on the letter you sent, like with the numbers.
It might have been included in the reports. I mean, like I said, this is 6 years ago. It's hard for me to recall every little detail of the place.
Of course.
It was also a stressful time for me as well. So, but I did put down, exactly what I spent the money for on this page.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever she deserved to get that, I return it. So.
Okay. And Joey, on your side, in terms of this list, it seems like Randy did put in the effort to itemize what each of the deductions were. Are there any in particular that you have, that you find particularly questionable?
Well, okay, so even if I have no idea how much it would take to haul garbage, so if I take your word for that, and then, you did charge me the rest of the rent, so when you were saying, like, I was nice enough not to charge you the whole month's rent, it says 15 days rent, so you did charge me the extra rent for the month.
When you don't give me the full 30 days notice, that allows me by law to charge for the next month. So
Right, but I was
so
just...
I gave you a discount. I gave you half back.
That's
I
not a
charged you.
discount.
I charged you for
charged
the
me-
rest. I could have charged you for the month after that.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, then the only other thing is that I guess this like $500 for sanding and refinishing the floor. I sanded and refinished the floor in the beginning, and I spent the money to buy the stuff, and I did that. So I feel like to charge me $500 for something that I did initially for free, it feels like, maybe I should have like asked for money for that. And repairing holes in the wall, it's like you take some spackle and put it in the wall. It's not such a big deal. And then cleaning the apartment for $250, like you can get a really good, solid cleaning service for like $50. It just seems super expensive. So I don't know if maybe you have like a really fancy cleaning lady.
If you had given me the full 30 days notice, I could have found somebody. But on rush notice,
You're a
rush
landlord,
job.
you know cleaning ladies. Come on.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but in terms of the flooring, were you aware at all of the work that Joey had done in terms of?
Oh yeah,
sanding?
because I permitted her
Okay.
to do it.
Okay,
I
sounds good.
I didn't know it would be such a difficult job for her, but
It was hard. Like I was excited to do it.
it
like
looked
moving
really
into a new
nice. Actually,
place.
it looked really nice when she did it. But when she moved out, she left it really scratched up.
But not
I
even
see.
as bad as when I had moved in. It was just like kind
No,
of. worse than after I did it, but it was still
It,
better
it
than.
looked a lot worse than when she did
I
it.
don't think so.
And you have no.
She doesn't have photos to prove it.
Do you have
Yeah,
any sort
lucky
of
for you.
maybe sort of any sort of report of like of your, let me see, your inspection of the place before Joey's move-in by any chance?
I would have to go back and look at my records.
Okay, but
Yeah, this is
nothing.
in 2005. I didn't bring it with me, but I could try to work that out.
Okay, I think that might be very helpful. I mean, we could definitely try to work with what documents you have here, and it's definitely not a necessity to this process. I think it might be a good time actually to enter into those individual caucuses that I was telling you about. If I could, do either of you feel very strongly about?
You can do that if you want. Yeah.
Okay, then Randy, if I could, yeah, speak with you first. I'll come get you very quickly, very shortly. So to begin with, is there anything else? Is there any further comments that you would want to tell me? Or?
I have to say, I mean, I mentioned this before, but the fact that she gave me only 15 days notice really caused me friendship. It was so hard to find all the necessary people to come in, clean it up, and do the coverage, and I had some fun so it was just, I thought I was being a good man by allowing her to make the modification that she wanted. We got along, and she was a lieutenant, and I thought I was going to be good.
Absolutely.
So, the fact that she just sort of ups and leaves and gives me 2 weeks to sort of struggle and find it, the records, it's just, I don't know. I just felt really accepted. And after all,
So it seems to me at least that maybe you had a great relationship before and that you felt a little bit, I guess a little shocked by the immediacy of the departure and the fact that she didn't really abide by the 30-day notice.
yeah, I mean, by law, she's required to do so. And just, as a courtesy, why didn't she let me know before? And the fact that, so, I don't know why she's bringing this up now. It was such a long time ago. I think she's just trying to get money from me. I mean, I gave her back what she was entitled to. And I could have charged more,
Absolutely.
I don't know why she's suing me for $1,500 6 years after the fact. I mean, does that make sense to you?
And these are, and just another follow-up question. So, I know that as a landlord you must have some familiarity with the law as well, in terms of security deposit law, but
I try to be a good landlord.
absolutely. But with the I guess the sheet with the itemized deductions, were you able to provide any sort of, I don't know, receipts or any sort of canceled checks which would have provided proof to Joey?
So this is all I brought today.
Okay.
I can't say for sure.
I see.
If I can find that at this point.
Okay, no, that's no problem. But when you sent the initial report to Joey, it didn't include.
So I guess this invoice for the company I hired, I think that went with the letter.
And that company was for which of the?
Tool contracting. This is the $500, the repairs to sand and refinish
For the floor.
because it was
I
scratched
see.
up. They also repaired the broken toilet seat and the holes in the roof.
Okay, so this also includes it.
I really wish I brought pictures. It really was messy. And
I see.
I mean, when things are rushed, you have to pay a premium to get it done on time.
Of course. But you haven't had no subsequent problems with finding
No.
renters or anything like that
I
after
think
you made all these reparations.
I guess once I fixed it up, it wasn't too hard. But to get it to that point, it was such a hassle.
Absolutely.
I mean, I really did that additional stress at that time.
Okay. Absolutely. If do you have any further concerns or questions that maybe you would want me to ask Joey, or
I mean, why do you think she's bringing this up? Like all of a sudden?
to be honest, I came into this mediation with no information about either of these parties, and so all I've heard from Joey is actually the same information that you have heard as of now. That's definitely something that if you would like me to address, I can address with her in the individual session.
I mean, is it even timely? And aren't there time limits for you to bring this kind of under?
To be honest with you, I'm not here as a legal advisor or a legal advocate, and to be frank, you may, as a landlord, you may know the law better than me. But I definitely think that it does not seem that Joey came here in bad faith. It doesn't seem like she isn't at all kind of remorseful for some of maybe the mental slip-ups that she's made. Yeah, I think definitely focusing on such a small issue as timeliness of bringing a claim may not be as productive for this process.
Do you think she? I mean, what is she like? The 15 you know, I showed her. This is, you know, it's not random.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just tell her? You know, I listed everything. It's itemized. It's clear.
Yeah, I could definitely. It definitely seems that you took the time at least to explain each of the deductions, and I think that is very helpful. And I think Joey will be able to understand that as well. But if you have no further anything else you want to tell me,
What's gonna happen?
well, I think at this point, I think it would be helpful if I could go into an individual session with Joey and just maybe just get some of the questions that you posed to me for her. I could pass those questions along, see if there's something that you would feel more comfortable explaining to me in a private setting. And then, of course, right after, we'll be able to come back together and try to reach an amicable solution as soon as possible. Before that happens, is there any information that you just told me that you would like me to keep confidential?
Not really. Do you think it will be productive? You know, I don't know.
Okay, absolutely. Well, if you could please come up to me really quickly. Yes, please. Yes, it should. Hello, Joey. How are
Hi.
you? I'm sorry about making you wait out there.
That's okay.
I just wanted a quick opportunity to speak with Randy. And so before we begin, to begin these individual sessions, generally I like to kind of just open it up for anything you didn't feel comfortable saying in the joint session.
Well, I mean, so this letter says November 21st, and I know that I actually got it in December. I forgot the envelope, but I know I got it in December because I filed the initial claim in January, and so I don't know. I just felt like she was making all these like, oh, it's so long, whatever. But anyway, I guess just there's nothing I really extra wanted to say. I just kind of like in the fit of the mood and everything. My life was like kind of tumultuous at the time, and I just forgot really about it. And then recently I moved again, and then I remembered like, oh my god, there's $1,500 that she just kept, and I could really use it. And I never said anything, and I'm gonna say something. F that. So, I mean, I did like her. She was a good landlord. Like, I've had bad landlords, so I feel like I appreciated that she was a good landlord. I guess I was like really just hoping she was gonna be like, oh yeah, that's right, I meant to give you like some of that back, and I forgot too. Here you go. And instead, it was like, oh, go to court.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I don't need the whole thing of it. I understand that she had to pay some of it. That's fine. Like, I just feel like some of the numbers were a little bit outrageous. I know she filled the apartment right away, so she didn't have to charge me the extra rent. And yeah, that's it. I would just really love to like get out of here.
Okay.
I feel like this is more stressful than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, to begin with, I know you expressed that you thought that your relationship with Randy was great all the way into the move out, and actually, Randy expressed similar things about you as a tenant. That until actually the time when you gave a little early notice, which he was caught a little bit surprised by. Before that, she had never felt like she had any issues with you, and so also with that being said, I think you mentioned that you'd be willing to come a little bit off that 1,500 because it mainly seems because it has. I think Randy also expressed that she feels a little bit of, I guess, hesitancy to address this issue, saying that it has been 6 years. I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure you can understand her position that she kind of got caught by surprise, having this plan come around so late after she thought that the matter had been resolved. But if we could maybe speak a little bit about which I think you mentioned that some of the itemizations were a little over, and I will say that Randy did give you the invoice for $500 for both the holes in the wall as well as for the reworking of the flooring.
yeah, she did. It's here.
So, would that be something that you would be comfortable with Randy keeping? I know you understood. I mean, maybe at least.
She can keep that.
She can keep that. Okay, great. I
mean,
know
she
you
did
did
say
so
I
much
did a
work
really
on the
nice job.
flooring.
That's okay. It was nice to hear her say that I did a nice job.
And then in terms of the other items, which in particular? So it seems like you expressed that the cleaning seemed a little excessive to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure she filled the place right away. I guess that's something I would want to ask her. Because, like, if she had to pay the whatever it was to, like, carry the apartment for a long time, and, you know, so this is 15 days rent from the next month, right? Because I was thinking that she was charging me for I was confused about that. But anyway, it's 15 days rent for the following month. So I guess I would be curious, like, if she filled it right away, then I feel like this is, like, a gratuitous charge. I mean, I should have given her 30 days, and I know that, but if that's not coming out of her pocket, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess, like, if she would be willing to just to waive that, then I would be willing to, like, just shut up about the cleaning being ridiculous, even though I do think it's, like, ridiculous.
Okay. And I don't think you ever gave me a number on the 15 days. Do you know how much that rent was?
$12.50. Oh, I'm sorry, $6.25 because it was $12.50 a month.
Oh, okay.
So it's half of that. So maybe, I don't know.
And if it does turn out to be the case that she was unable to fill the tenancy immediately, would you then want to pursue the garbage fees?
Yeah. Oh, the other thing is, I didn't want to say this in front of her, but maybe if you think it's a good idea, I would be going to it. I would love to have like a good landlord reference. Like sometimes you try and move in somewhere and they're like, because I'm looking for apartments right now because I'm up with my boyfriend, which is part of the reason why I'm here because now I have like really no money.
I see.
But so now I also need like a land. It would be really nice to have a landlord reference. So, I mean, I feel like I sort of cut against myself bringing this suit, and then I'm gonna like ask this person who I hauled into court to write me a recommendation, but maybe she'd be willing. I don't know.
I don't think that she feels like you're coming from any sort of a place of malice or anything like that. I think definitely if you explained kind of the position you're in right now and why this is causing you to bring this claim 6 years later, I think definitely to Randy that would feel it would give her some sense that this claim like would make more sense to her.
Okay.
In her perception of things. So if you feel comfortable with that, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay, great. Is there anything else further that you would like to tell me while we're still in the negotiations?
No.
Okay, great. And is there anything confidential that you'd like me to keep confidential?
No, it's cool.
Okay, sounds good. Well then, let me go bring back Randy, and we can further discuss.
Okay.
Thank you so much for waiting as well. So from what I've gathered from the individual sessions, it seems, first of all, as I said before, that both of you appear satisfied with your relationship up to the point of the move-out. Furthermore, it appears that on many of these itemizations, there is some, I think we have come to some sort of consensus in terms of which ones are reasonable and which ones are more debatable. And I think we both agreed upon that the fact, because there was an invoice for the $500 for the flooring and the holes in the wall, that much is not currently in any kind of dispute at this point. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And then furthermore, I think some of the questions, so that in terms of what is in question, I think it comes down to the 15 days rent period. And so I think Joey had some questions for you, Randy, in regards to tenancy following after she left. So.
Yeah, so I guess I was confused about the 15 days rent before, but then when you explained it that it was like for the following, like the 15 days of the next month, because it would have been like the time for you to fill it. I guess I was just wondering, were you able to fill it within the 15 days that I moved out? Because if you were, then I feel like this amount would just be sort of like to make up for the fact that I moved out without giving you the notice that I should have given you, but this wouldn't be like $625 out of your pocket. Like,
let me check my journal from the. Just give me a second.
Okay, sure.
I mean, it's a nice apartment. I think I did find somebody pretty promptly.
Because if you had to pay out of pocket, then I would understand. Like, then I would feel bad.
I do remember that all the cleaning and everything that took 2 weeks.
Oh.
So during that time, nobody could clean.
So that probably was the 15 days.
Yeah, I was.
But consider the next month, or do you know what I mean? Like, because so let's say I moved out. When did I move out? November 1st, but I should have moved out November 15th, right? I moved out November 1st. My journal says. So.
I mean, I remember that the cleaning took a little longer than usual because of the repairs that I wanted to make to get a little apartment, So I do remember that I couldn't rent it for a little while.
Okay.
But after that, yeah, I
Okay. So, are you saying that you did incur additional fees due to Joey moving out here?
Yeah, the express jobs. I mean, I was paying for there had to be money for the express jobs plus the fact that nobody could move in.
Right. Okay. So what I was saying was like, so these are all the first. Do you have the letter? Yeah. So the first three, 250, 125, and 500 were all for the express jobs. But then I was wondering, the 15 days rent, if that was something you basically had to personally pay to carry the apartment, like more than you would normally have to pay to carry the apartment and show it.
I mean, usually it wouldn't take 2 weeks to clean,
right?
So maybe I could have found something.
So maybe.
Well, I feel like Joey has been fairly, I guess, has been fairly, like, let me see, compromising in terms of some of her positions in terms of the flooring and stuff like that. She did mention that she initially had some qualms about the floor being worse, a little bit better off than it was initially. But I think, Joey, if maybe you tell Randy kind of, I guess, like where the suit is coming from, because I know, Randy, you even expressed that you're a little shocked by the fact that this is coming 6 years down the road, and so.
I can't remember half the stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I just thought this would be boring to hear, but so basically I moved out at the time, and I moved in with my boyfriend, and my life was like kind of, you know, it's like crazy when you make a move like that, and I just was like really excited about that, and I just sort of, this was like not the first thing on my mind, so I was like thinking about so much having to do with that, and then we were together for, you know, these like 6 years or whatever, and then we broke up, and I had to move out, and I'm now looking for a new place, and I got my security deposit back from that place, and it like triggered a memory, and I was like, oh my god, that's right. She didn't give me back my whole security deposit, and I was like, shit, I really could use that money right now looking for another apartment, because now I'm like looking for it by myself, and I just felt like this was something I totally meant to deal with at the time, and my life was just so crazy at the time. So I know that it seems like really out of nowhere, but it was something that I kind of had put on the back burner, and then I guess my life just got in the way. But so anyway, that's why I had brought it up now, because I'm in the apartment and I didn't know how to get in.
And I think in terms of kind of what Joey has done for you, well, I guess what Joey has done before is that she did put in the work for the paint job, and she did put in the effort at least to do at least one remodeling of the floor, despite maybe the condition that she found it in. I think the work was there before. And so how do you feel, Randy, in terms of that 625? I think.
629?
Yes. So I believe that all of the other are not quite in dispute currently.
I said I would just be willing to stop bitching about the cleaning, because like I'll just believe you on the repairs and the hauling, even though I feel like I did my own help for the floor, but I just really, yeah, I was willing to, I guess, concede those things if you were willing to like talk to me about this, the rent, the lost rent, or the cleaning.
And that's not a set number, and I hate to pounce on you with numbers, but maybe if we could work from that 625 and try to see if we could reach some sort of amenable solution between you two over that.
So are you still suing for? Are you suing me for the rest of the money? Wait, I'm not sure.
Oh, she's not suing for the rest of the money, but I think what she's saying is that in terms, what Joey is saying is in this mediation, if you'd be able to negotiate with her around that 625, I think she's saying that a lot of her other concerns in regards to, you know, the cleaning, the garbage removal, and the repairs would be I guess that would kind of alleviate a lot of kind of like the quarrels that she would have with those organizations.
I want to say again though that the apartment was vacant for a longer time than usual because of all these additional repairs that I had to do. So I mean, rent is not free. Why should I, you know, I should change that number? I mean, I could change it. So I don't see how that's debatable.
I mean, 625 is.
That's for the
would
2
you have been
weeks.
able
It
to
was
charge
vacant for
more?
2 weeks.
Would you have been able to charge more than the 625? I don't believe so, correct? Because if it was vacant for 2 weeks, that would be about half the rent, which would be 625, correct? I think.
Well,
I
mean,
think that's
when people
correct.
don't give enough notice, I thought usually they have to go for the next monthly cycle. So she would have been a tenant for longer.
Oh, I see.
Does
Well, I
that
think
make sense?
I think we're having some confusion over whether the 625 is coming from the 2 weeks extra that was required for the cleaning,
That's what I thought it was.
or whether it was because
15 days,
the 15 days.
I
It
thought
was
it
the
was
15
also-
days
The
deficient on
way
notice.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Like I should have given you 30 days, but I only gave you 15, and then I just pieced out. So then you charge me for the rest of.
So I thought this was more like, I let you get out of your lease early.
But I had already paid for that month.
Really?
You pay month to month, no? I think so.
I'm not certain how to. So then
So-
you're saying the 625 did not derive from the cleaning, the extra 2 weeks of cleaning. So what you're saying is that.
Let me think of this. So you're saying that this is for after your lease ended, but the 2 weeks I took to find everybody.
That was what I thought. I thought it was like, cause I thought I.
Okay, yeah, let's go forward with that then. Okay. Yeah. That's right, my memory's just
No, I know, it was a long time ago.
6 years.
Okay, let's just say that was for the extra repairs, yeah.
Okay, so I guess again, if it does get characterized in that way, would you be willing to meet Joey anywhere with that 625? Again, I hate to push numbers and figures on you, but I feel like for the purpose of this mediation, it's gotten to that point. I think maybe, Joey, if you came from any sort of other position, maybe actually if you could move down from the 625, because you said there were some alternative options that you would want from Randy as well.
Oh yeah, so I'm apartment hunting right now, and some landlords ask for a previous landlord reference that you are paid on time and that you are a good tenant and stuff. So I was gonna ask you if you wouldn't mind writing me one. But then I realized I hauled you into court, and so maybe you wouldn't be the best person to then ask for a
If you want a
recommendation.
reference letter, you don't sue me. Why can't you just call me or?
It does.
I
It
mean,
does. I think
what?
Joey understands that it
I
comes
do.
from a weird
Well, that's why
place.
I
It's just-
said it to him, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't bring it up.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to think about it for a while.
Okay.
Okay, absolutely. I mean,
I kind of have to go.
yeah. I'm sorry. Can I just
So-
have one? I think this might be a good time to just have one more individual conference with Joey really quickly.
You can just ask me anything. I'll say it.
Okay. Well. It seems well, Joey. It seems that I'm not. It seems that in terms of your claim, it seems that you understand that it's been 6 years since this claim, and I'm sure that you understand why it's a little difficult for Randy to come to terms with any of these, especially when she provided you with actual itemizations as well as proof for 500 of the 1,500. And even though some of these claims seem a little high, I don't know where, like, do you feel as if the 15 days in terms of the 625 would really be successful if you were to bring this into court?
I don't know. I don't really know what happens in court. Do you think it would be successful?
I have no opinion. Well, I'm not here to give legal advice again, as I mentioned before. But I mean, it appears that that maybe if there was some sort of, if like a reference was forthcoming,
Okay.
is that what you're more looking for, or how important, I guess, is the money issue to you?
Well, it's really important to me, but if you don't think I'll get anything
That's
in court, then
I don't.
would rather
Again, I'm not
walk
here. I
away
honestly cannot
with
tell you exactly
a
what.
reference.
I can't tell you exactly what will happen in court.
Okay.
But it seems like
well-
you're coming from a position of.
Well, I just thought it was an extra 15 days in addition to the month that I paid, so it just seemed like kind of like a slap on the wrist penalty fee, basically. Which, you were like mentioning the law, and I don't know what the law is. That might be the law, but my perspective was like, if it was coming out of your pocket, then I would totally understand, and I wouldn't want you to have to pay out of pocket for me taking you over. But if you filled the apartment and that was just like a slap on the wrist penalty kind of charge, then I was gonna ask if you would be willing to meet me somewhere in the middle of that. However, if you're not, I really have to go, so, I don't know, I mean, if you're, would you be willing to write me a reference?
Why, and I say, like, this tenant will sue you.
Well, I think based on the fact that you definitely had.
I mean, she was a good tenant.
Yeah,
It was
and
just-
Joey explained some of the kind of the extenuating circumstances which caused her to, you know.
I mean, I can relate to the fact that, like, it's busy, preoccupied. Really?
Okay, well, if you're gonna laugh at me, I'm just gonna leave.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I hope you understand. It's kind of strange to me that you would just sue me and not discuss this with me
Yes.
first.
Okay.
Well, I think you expressed that you do really have to go. Is that
I do really have to go,
So we really have to judge now. This is
well, it does seem also like our hour is almost coming to an end, and so, I mean, I do want to get you back into court on time so you can have your day in court. I'm sorry that this meeting wasn't as productive as it possibly could have been, but I think it's probably best if I take you back to court now so that you have your day in court and discuss this further.
okay,
Thank you.
thanks.